Hello, I'm Brandon Marley, President and CEO of the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce, and this is your legislative update. As the California legislature wrapped up its 2025 session, the Chamber remained deeply engaged in advocating for policies that balance economic growth, business competitiveness, and community well-being. This year's session was active on many fronts, including housing, infrastructure, environmental regulation, energy policy, and workplace law. Several measures that the Chamber supported advanced to the governor's desk, while others that posed significant challenges for employers were either defeated or delayed. This session underscored the importance of ongoing advocacy as decisions in Sacramento continue to shape the state's economic climate. Among the supported measures was AB 1293, authored by Assemblymember Wallace, which provides technical clarifications to California's workers' compensation system. The bill simplifies the way disability and death benefits are calculated, reducing administrative burden and the risk of confusion for employers. Importantly, it does not introduce new mandates or expand benefits, but instead makes existing law easier to administer. This kind of cleanup legislation demonstrates how small but thoughtful changes can create greater efficiency in the regulatory framework businesses operate under. The Chamber also supported SB 250, introduced by Senator Ochoa Bogue, which adds skilled nursing facilities to the medical provider directory. This ensures that patients and families can more easily locate long-term care facilities within the Medi-Cal system, while also providing greater visibility and accessibility for providers. For businesses operating in healthcare and elder care, this measure helps streamline patient access and supports better navigation of the state's complex care network. A third supported measure was a cleanup bill from last year's AB 98, also referred to as the warehouse bill. SB 415, carried by Senator Reyes, requires developers of large warehouse and industrial projects to disclose truck-related emissions during the environmental review process. While it introduces an additional step in project planning, the bill is intended to provide greater transparency around air quality and public health impacts, particularly in communities already affected by logistics-related traffic. For businesses in the logistics sector, SB 415 reflects a growing emphasis on balancing economic activity with community health and environmental justice concerns. At the same time, the Chamber opposed several bills that would have added significant costs or restrictions for businesses, many of which ultimately did not advance. AB 446, authored by Assemblymember Ward, sought to prohibit businesses from adjusting prices based on consumer data such as zip code, device type, or other personal information. While well-intentioned, the bill raised compliance concerns and was overly broad in its reach, potentially impacting a wide range of industries that rely on dynamic pricing. Another measure, SB 310, by Senator Wiener, would have expanded penalties for wage non-payment by allowing additional civil actions, significantly increasing liability risk for employers. While ensuring timely payment is an important goal, the Chamber raised concerns that the bill created overlapping enforcement mechanisms and new avenues for costly litigation. Ultimately, the bill failed to advance. Similarly, AB 1331, introduced by Assemblymember Ellaway, would have restricted workplace surveillance practices, prohibiting off-duty monitoring, private surveillance during breaks, and even certain types of location tracking. Although framed as a privacy protection bill, it posed challenges for industries that rely on workplace security and monitoring for compliance and safety purposes. The measure failed to meet deadlines and will not move forward this year. Beyond individual bills, the session featured several broader policy developments with long-term implications for California's business environment. AB 1207 extended the state's cap and trade program, now renamed the Cap and Invest program, through 2045. This legislation strengthens oversight, requires the Air Source Resources Board to consider affordability, and directs revenue towards household climate credits, clean energy incentives, and utility ratepayer relief. The program underscores California's commitment to aggressive climate policy, while adding safeguards for affordability. Another major development was SB 237, carried by Senators Grayson, Hurtado, McNerney, and Richardson. This oil and gas oversight measure increases safety standards for pipelines and refineries, requires public disclosure of financial responsibility, and allows the governor to suspend seasonal gasoline regulations to stabilize prices. It also directs penalty revenues towards community safety workers and worker protections. The measure reflects California's balancing act between environmental protection, energy security, and economic stability. Looking ahead to 2026, businesses can expect continued debates on many of the same fronts. Several bills that stalled this year, including restrictions on workplace technology and new environmental mandates, have been designated as two-year bills and could return when the legislature reconvenes. Housing affordability, infrastructure funding, and climate policy are also expected to remain at the center of the discussion. The Chamber will continue to monitor these developments closely, ensuring that the voice of the business community is heard in Sacramento. The work this year demonstrated the importance of advocacy in shaping outcomes, and next year promises to be equally consequential for California's economic future. For a full list of current positions, you can visit our website at gcvcc.org. And if you're interested in getting more involved in our legislative committee, have questions on a bill, or something the Chamber can look at or help you with, please email advocacy@gcvcc.org. Have a great day.